Tell me what happened.
Okay, so basically what happened last time is we ended the war with Wutai, and then Genesis left before that, and then Angel left because Genesis and Angel are friends, and then their hometown got bombed, and then Zack got promoted to first, and then Sephiroth explains that Genesis is a little jelly and got hurt, and then we convince Angel he's not a monster, and he's all like, "Nah, fam," and here we are. Enjoy the video.
Hello?
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 Yes, hello?
Hello?
Oh look, it's Aerith! Turns out Zack fell into the church in the Sector 5 slums. That seems awfully familiar. Zack thanks Aerith for waking him and suggests that she should sell the flowers growing in the church. Enough of this young romance, we got side missions to do, as we have unlocked some new ones. One side mission unlocks the ability for us to use items in Materia Fusion. This is useful as some rewards or items we have found are specifically for this purpose, as they can add a bonus to the modifiers. So when fusing, adding a certain amount of one item can result in a +1 of its corresponding attribute modifier. There are different tiers of these items. Some you need to add 5 to get a +1, some you will need to add 3 to get a +1, and the best one you only need to add 1 of to get the +1. So I upgrade my 20% HP materia to a 40% one, increase the Liberia attack stat to a +7, as well as give the Thunder materia a +7 to its magic. The second side mission of note unlocks us the third accessory slot. We have to beat the same Scorpion boss we beat in Chapter 2 before we did the main mission. Same strat as before, only this time I went in with a magic build. The magic build was not the way to go, so I died. I switched to my melee build and wrecked this boss no problem. Now we have 3 accessory slots giving us more flexibility to give us more strength, defense or status resistances. Now for a little housekeeping. Back when Zack got his first class, I mentioned 2 major upgrades, 2 more materia slots and materia fusion. While it's true these 2 are by far the most useful upgrades Zack got, it's not the only thing. As you probably noticed by now, when Zack finishes a combat, he can get rewarded with some HP, MP or even AP back, depending on how well he did. Basically, if Zack takes no damage, he can gain all 3 back by a good amount. If he manages to block all the attacks, he can get all 3 back, but not as much. Finally, if Zack takes damage, he can get AP or MP by killing enemies with either magic or an ability attack. It only counts for the final hit on the enemy, so if he kills enemies with magic, he will get MP back. If he kills enemies with ability attacks like jump, he will gain AP back. For most of this run, it's more than likely we'll just be gaining AP or MP back, but during grinds I can use this finish to possibly get HP back as well. Though unless I get no hit in combat, I'm still going to have to use items to restore Zack to full power. Oh yeah! I get up to the 5-star missions and start to struggle, so I decide to continue the adventures of Zack and Aerith. We absolutely destroy a couple of monsters which would normally be cause for celebration, but Zack starts thinking he's a monster. While this existential crisis for what he is going on, Zack's wallet gets stolen.
Come on, man.
To cut a very boring section short, Aerith offers to find the kid and you gotta talk to the locals who always seems to just miss the kid. After talking to everyone, you finally get to the kid who says he needed the money for his dad's medicine as a monster ate his wallet. We offer to kill the monster to get the wallet back. Kill it easily and discover the kid is loaded. How the hell has this kid living in the slums got more money than a first-class soldier? Maybe it's all my spending on items just to recover Zack. We spend some time with Aerith by running around and collecting materia on the ground.
Not another speeding ticket. I'll fight it in court, but I don't think they're gonna accept gotta go fast as a medical condition.
We're asked if we want to blend the perfect perfume. First attempt is me trying to work out what the game wants. The second try I get super close, but the game didn't register my inputs, so it's not a perfect blend. And third time's a charm, we get it. Then I play a number picker game. There's a trick where it's the answer that both Aerith and the kid suggest. I get 2 items out of it. 2 items that I could have gotten at a shop for the same price. I'm wasting too much time here. So we head off with Aerith to the playground where she moans that soldiers are scary. Really helping Zack here with the whole I'm a monster thing. Zack tells Aerith I'm soldier and shows her his eyes, which she's all like pretty. Just as the two start getting close, work calls. Didn't even check up to see if Zack was okay. The Shinra building is being attacked. Again. Anyway, we get a prompt telling us that there is 2 side missions that can increase our accessory slots. We've done one of them, and the other one is too difficult at the moment, so I'm gonna leave it for now. On my way back, this kid gives me a side mission, so I do it real quick. Look, I know the building is being attacked again, but it's gotta wait. This kid's probably gonna pay more than Shinra. On the highway leading to the Shinra HQ, we get ambushed. We have 3 waves of enemies followed by a mini-boss. You get no chances to restore between any of the fights. So on the mini-boss, I use an elixir just to be safe. Turns out I didn't really need to. I get up close to the boss to trigger his kicking attack, get hit by it once, but start to learn the pattern. If I mess up, a potion heals for more than the damage. Mini-boss down.
Oh yeah!
Dan and Jill switch its sides. So he's back working for Shinra, kind of? Well, he helps Zack get to the Shinra HQ a lot faster. We get put on Protect Hojo duty, which means releasing a bunch of dogs that we can steal keys from. We got the steal materia from the kid who stole our wallet. These open up doors and chests with items in. We've got a time limit to do this, but the dogs are no problem, so we managed to get them all and all the items.
You dispose.
With that distraction out of the way, we get Loveless quoting Genesis showing up with another summon. Okay, you already did Bahamut. What are you going to do, a stronger Bahamut? Yes! Bahamut 0! And I was not looking forward to this boss. Years ago, I did a different challenge run on this game and got slightly stuck on this boss for a while. I must have kept some of the skills I learned from fighting that boss over and over again, as this boss was super easy. Sure, its Mega Flare does destroy me, but I had that Phoenix down all the way back in the last chapter just for this boss. Like the Bahamut fight that absolutely destroyed me, its Mega Flare also removes HP, MP, and AP. Unlike that fight, I'm not fast as I'm focused on just attacking and dodging all his attacks with ease. The giant energy balls I just run back, slightly move left or right to dodge. Its regular attacks I just hit, and then dodge. When it fires its spikes, I just spend some time running around and dodging them. It does go for a second Mega Flare, but this time I get it down to 0. Sorry Bahamut 0, you got zeroed. Sephiroth has gone into full research mode. I could go deal with that, but more important matters to attend to, like building Aerith a flower cart. I joke, no, it's side mission time of course. I spend way too long fighting these one-hit kill birds. What's worse is they got some bomb buddies. So I take out the bombs first, then hit and dodge until all the birds go bye-bye. Go around talking to people in Sector A. These two in the Shinra building entrance want to develop the slums, so we get a series of missions, but more importantly, beating the first mission unlocks us a new shop full of useful materials to fuse with. This helps me get a HP plus material with 100% on it. With more health, I go beat the Bahamut that can class Flare. Yeah, who's laughing now? I should mention that this version is also resistant to magic, but not resistant to my blade. I also take on Bahamut 0 again. I unlock more shops, finally beat the mission before the accessory slot mission. I had to equip a no lightning and half damage accessory, as these enemies love casting magic. I focus on the claw guy first by spamming fire spells, and then wail on the demon enemies. But I'm out of gills, so I've got to do some more grinding for that. Then attempt the accessory slot mission, which goes a lot easier as the floating eye enemies love casting thunder. I know thunder, so I get my 4th accessory slot. And Jill flies by telling Zack where Genesis is now hiding. Thanks buddy, but I gotta go find some Wutai spies. After finding a spy, you unlock a mission. The missions are fine, but the last one unlocks a new shop with nice materia, which will help in the future when we need to power up the current materia. But for right now, we should be good. So good, we head to the church to meet with Aerith, but meet Sung instead, who tells us our princess is in another castle, and we got a job to do. Genesis.
Helicopter, helicopter!
And it crashes. Guess we are walking the rest of the way. Looks like only one Shinra troop can keep up with Zack.
Cloud.
It's Cloud, everyone! We find another path that leads us to an item that stops Curse. But I like Curse, so I guess I won't be using this. Get to Genesis' hideout, we gotta sneak in.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
With all my Metal Gear knowledge, I should be able to go in and not get caught. I got caught already.
Snake, are you okay? Snake? Snake!
Second attempt actually goes well. I even go out my way to get some items. Watch Genesis' motivation this time. Become a hero, the gift of the goddess. Well, he goes all Kuja on us. Okay, Cloud, take care of Hollander. Okay, Cloud, go after Hollander. We got a knockoff villain to take care of. Right off the bat, I do die a few times to this fight. My combo of regular attacks doesn't stun him, but it does interrupt his spell. Unfortunately, he can just attack immediately as the spell is interrupted, not him. He also casts regen, but does it once. On my first attempts, I noticed he put up magic barrier despite me not using any magical attacks, just my regular ones. So on attempt 2, I changed my equipment to increase my damage. That's when he puts up the regular barrier, negating my attack. Turns out I had an accessory that added an element to my attack. This caused Genesis to cast M barrier, but since it's still a regular attack, it can damage him, but on a reduced amount. So on attempt number 3, I put it back on knowing that this is going to be a long fight. Start learning the attack patterns, block feathers, dodge dark energy balls, and dodge its combo attacks. Heal when I need to, let him heal a lot with regen, but continue with the same strat till Genesis goes down.
Conflict resolved.
Then he decides to jump off into the abyss. Well, that wasn't too bad, but where's the rest of the team? We head back out to see a new path has opened up. We end up in a small village, enter an inn, listen to a bunch of voicemails. To learn the whereabouts of an item that is a power wrist. Was not worth it. We also found Valve. All hail Lord Gaben and Steam. Find the onsen and an angel clone bird kicks my ass. So I focus on a fire build which boils down to, get it? Boils? God, you guys are roasting me today. Equipping a fire ring to add fire to my basic attack. Let's cook this chicken. Find a place to insert the valve to get a lightning amulet out of it. Shocking. Okay, I'll see myself out. The boys have been knocked out, so it's up to us to fight the real boss of this chapter. And Jill. And he's kinda switched sides again. Not really, he just doesn't want to be a monster no more. So he absorbs some of his monster clones to become a monster. Then cuts Zack's face. And Jill wants Zack to end him, so he ends us instead. Like the Bahamut Zero fight, this is where I got stuck again in the other challenge run that never got released. Luckily for me, I can just spend many hours grinding for gills so I can upgrade my HP plus materia as well as some others. After some amount of hours, I'm ready for a rematch. Like his clones, and Jill's monster form is weak to elemental damage. Well, weak to fire and ice. Like I mentioned before, I have a fire ring, so I equip that to make my basic attacks do fire damage, which increases the amount of damage I can do on my basic attacks. Step 2 is I notice he likes casting thunder when I back attack, so I equipped the Null Thunder Amulet, which is shockingly useful.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I was using the dot code, an accessory that makes you use potion every time you get hit. I thought it'd be useful since I wouldn't have to worry about healing. The issue is, this is not a turn-based game, so while I'm using the potion, the boss can still attack me, as Zack stands still when using an item. This boss likes using buffs, so I equipped the Spellblade to get rid of them as soon as possible. I may have well over-prepared for this fight. Since I had so much trouble in the never-to-be-seen first Crisis Core Challenge run, I went in expecting the worst. I know the attacks pretty well, and without the buffs, this boss is a walk in the park.
Conflict resolved.
With Angeal's defeat, he passes on his living legacy, his soldier honor to Zack, the Buster Sword, our last tech to help Zack get more powered for the rest of the run. Aerith comforts Zack, as we finally get to see the Zack we all recognize from Final Fantasy VII. Advent Children, Remake, Rebirth, and that mobile game? Zack, you got any words of advice for the rest of this run?
Embrace your dreams. And whatever happens, protect your soldier honor.
Hollider's been captured, no thanks to Cloud, but Zack has been put on watch. I mean, his mentor did defect and handed over his symbolic weapon to Zack, so yeah, I would be a little sus of Zack. Zack questioned his soldier's honor, which, to be fair, if some slums kid from Sector 5 has more money than you, yeah, I would question my loyalty too. But forget all that, it's beach time. Also, Cisne drops the fact that Aerith is a Cetra and is under constant surveillance from the Turks. Oh no, Genesis copies turn up. Better use an umbrella as our sword. Despite just getting the Buster Sword, we gotta wait a little to use it. Wait, hold up. Genesis copies? Does that mean... Yes. Song tells us our vacation is over, as Junon is under attack. And guess where Holiday is being held at? We now get to use the Buster Sword, Zack's last big upgrade. So tutorial time on the Buster Sword in this game. First thing is the proficiency rating. Reaching certain ratings will unlock new bonuses when entering Sword Stance. Since I haven't unlocked them yet, I won't go into details just yet. For now, I will cover how to gain proficiency. Zack unlocks Sword Stance. This costs 10 AP to enter, and Zack changes his stance. This form works similarly to block as it can negate status ailments, but you still take damage. In this form, you do a powerful attack. If an enemy is killed with this powerful attack, your proficiency will increase by 0.02 to about 0.04%. The extra damage is the main thing, but entering Sword Stance and accessing your materia menu can add bonus damage to your attack materia. You have to pay full price for the attack materia, but if an enemy is killed this way, it can also increase your proficiency by the same amount as the basic attack Sword Stance. So what I did was head over to the save and do some side missions so I can spend some time gaining more proficiency. Pro tip is to use the battle stance with jump, as this does AoE damage and can kill multiple enemies at once. Second pro tip that I didn't learn till a little later on, you can only gain so much proficiency per conflict or battle. This is fine as most have 1 to 4 enemies, but later on some side missions will have conflicts with up to 1,000 enemies, so keep an eye on your proficiency. The third tip is regular attacks and attack materia have separate caps, so when one is not gaining any proficiency, let's say jump, just start using your regular attacks with battle stance. I actually don't do too many side missions at this point, and I have not learnt these pro tips myself, so I just continue with the main mission to get Hollander. Use the weaker enemies to help level up my proficiency, then see a new Genesis clone. I think Squall's gonna sue somebody. Man rips off Sephiroth Kuja and now has a gun blade. It even shoots.
This is gonna sting!
Conflict resolved.
We catch up to Hollander, who releases a new tank on us. Okay, how much arsenal did Genesis steal? I'm getting liquid ocelot vibes from the amount of tech he's stolen.
I've been waiting for this!
I kept dying to the cannon attack while trying to take out the ads. Eventually, I'm like, I'm not saving this Phoenix down, so I'm just gonna let it go off and just beat the boss.
Conflict resolved.
We catch up with Cloud and ask if he wants to grab a bite to eat. Yeah, Cloud got sick in the helicopter ride over. Genova Cell's doing the Lord's work of turning this guy into a badass. Holiday sends mechs to attack the civilians, so we gotta kill 30 enemy groups. This is a perfect time to slowly work on that proficiency grind. Thanks, Holiday, for the help. I see some stairs that I've never taken before, so I go up to get a cutscene with Cisne. Not bad. What's better is now Zack has a fan club. Oh yeah, Zack's been part of Genesis, Angel's and Sephiroth's fan clubs back in Midgar, so it's nice to know that now that I'm first class, I also get one. There are some items up here, but none of them are that good, so... catch up to Hollander again, who has a guard scorpion. Yeah, it's the first boss from Final Fantasy VII. How much shit did these guys take? This boss is pretty easy. One to equip Noah Thunder again and actually start dodging its attacks. He has a lock-on move, but really after the last boss fights from the previous chapter, this is a walk in the park. Or reactor. Should have stayed as the first boss.
Conflict resolved.
Hollander escapes.
Of course!
Genesis is not dead. Genesis quotes Loveless. Guess Zack and Sephiroth are best buds now? What an easy chapter. Finally, back in Midgar, we meet Aerith at the church and an Angel Dogo clone, but we get attacked by some robots. And then the Angel clone defeats them, but gets badly hurt. It's gotta be the degradation, so it flies off and takes a nap. Oh yeah, Aerith wants to build this flower wagon. Sorry Aerith, I got some side quests to take care of first, like this one where my reward is a new shop with some juicy materia. Okay, that was the only side mission of note, so let's head outside and get attacked by these robots. Take care of them, and turns out there's some sort of anti-monster unit that can't tell the difference between soldier and monsters. This is not going to help Zack's psyche right now. Song makes fun of us, but he's totally jelly. We're building the flower wagon and not him. Oh yeah, I'm totally going to work on the wagon right after I go back to do some club talking, then join my own fan club. Speak to the scientist, go off and do the related missions, and it turns out he released a whole bunch of monsters in Midgar, then starts talking about the Cetra, planet, Mako sucking bad. Sure buddy, sure. A notable mission is mission 10-4-2. I have to defeat 100 of these worms. They can cast stop, but don't do too much damage, plus I do have an accessory that makes me immune, so they go down without too much trouble. The reason I'm telling you this is the SP grind. So normally SP is used for the DMW as a cost to spin the wheel, but it's also used for materia fusion as its cost. So my SP has been pretty low, and after a while you will need large amounts of SP for fusing, especially if you start adding in items. For that reason, I need an easy SP farm, and this mission is the one. I can get on average 468 SP per kill. It can go as low as 100 and as high as 900, but the main thing here is 100 easy to kill worms. This also helps the Buster Sword proficiency as well, using attack stance jump to kill off a load quickly. This is also where I learned about all the caps, so I won't go into that again. At one point I was at 7.94 proficiency, then it jumped to 17.94. I'm guessing that there are jumps like this, but with this level of proficiency comes the last upgrade I need. Damage limit break. You see, damage is capped at 9,999. So even if you could technically deal more damage, you can't. With the damage limit break, our max damage now is 99,999. Sure, there are going to be enemies and bosses with more hit points than that, and given my strength stat, I doubt I'll be hitting it that much. At the moment, I'm doing 30,000 to these worms, but for grinding and adds, it's a godsend. Now, you can get an accessory later on that has a damage limit break, but that wastes a slot, and we already got one slot permanently filled, so having this helps. The drawback is it's only active when in battle stance, so it's going to cost you 10 AP a time. More side missions that unlock shops, like this one with an accessory that halves elemental damage. No biggie till I find the jackpot, an accessory that absorbs all elemental damage and one that adds all elemental damage. This is gonna be super useful later on. Also, they sell X potions which fully restores HP. Nice. I'm gonna need to grind a lot of gil. Go around collecting materials for this wagon, while telling this mother she's a monster. This is the head of the Angel fan club who wants to run away, leaving her son behind, just to try and find Angel. Guess calling her a monster is a lot easier than telling her, yeah, we killed him. That's why we got his sword. Some fan this person is. Also visit Potion Lady. I'm gonna miss you. Then finish off the wagon material collecting. Build the wagon, and Aerith moans about its size. It's a grower, not a shower. Sephiroth calls up. Looks like it's mission time and we'll be leaving Midgar. Aerith hands us 23 wishes. Were the Cetra always this demanding? Head back to the Shinra building where we say goodbye to Consul, the man who introduced us to side missions. Wait, no, did he? To Midgar. Consul is like, if you're leaving for a while, go say goodbye to Aerith and I'll keep Sephiroth busy. We head back to Aerith even though my heart is still in the front lobby of the Shinra building. To say goodbye by selling flowers. Well, attempt to anyway. Song shows up and Zack entrusts him to look after Aerith while he's gone. The man promises to do so. And I've got no regrets. It's off to
Nibelheim.
Thanks for watching this part of Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion no level run. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and check out part 1. I'll see you guys in part 3. Until then, goodbye.